Hey, I hope this is working. Hello, hello. Let me know in the chat if it is working, and if not, I will try to fix it as soon as possible. Welcome to another live stream discussing about any problem you have or are dealing with your YouTube channel right now. On my YouTube videos, I try to make them sort of like handbooks or breakdowns, something that you can reference and watch over and over again and refer back to. But one of the downsides of having those breakdown videos is that I can't react. I can't react to the feedback that you're giving me. I can't slow down if there's a part that isn't clicking, or clarify different parts that aren't clear. So my hope is that if you have any questions, you can let me know. Last Sunday, I think, we broke down probably 15, 20 different channels and different questions that you guys had. And it was really fun. Every single YouTube channel has like a specific puzzle, a specific problem. And it's fun to find the right fit for you and your audience, but also the right fit for YouTube and for your message, your values, your story to be clear to your audience. So it's always fun breaking them down. Hope I can help you today. Hope we can have a little bit more of that dialogue, all that sort of stuff. Andy, good to see you here. Anthony, right now I am using OBS to stream. I'm still learning, and my computer is definitely like freaking out a little bit, trying to handle it all because I've got a lot of screens and tabs going on right now. But OBS works pretty well. It's a little bit counterintuitive, some parts of it. And then right now I have this little Camlink plugin thing that helps me plug my fancy camera into the laptop, which is one of the coolest things ever. And that's helped out a lot of stuff. So, but yeah. So in the comments down below, or in the chat, leave a comment of what problem is stumping you with your YouTube channel right now. What's a puzzle, or what's an area that you would love to dialogue about, maybe see some different options with. This could be with, or am I trying to increase my growth, my engagement? Do I like my content? Or maybe I need to change it up to something that gives me more freedom. It could be, is my audience confused? Is my audience split? Do I need to pivot? All sorts of these questions, just bring them over, leave them in the chat, and I will try to help you out. On my YouTube channel, or in the community tab, I left a poll that said, out of the two areas with your YouTube channel, would you prefer me focus on helping you find more ingredients for your YouTube channel? So this is, diving deep on those questions, or those little like back hidden corners where we can suddenly find ingredients. Oh, I didn't really realize that I was doing that. Oh, I didn't realize that that's a skill that I had, or an angle that I can use to take my normal boring story and suddenly bring it to life. And then the second option in the poll was for help building your YouTube niche hierarchy. So what are those layers? What order do they go in? What combinations of those ingredients are good for YouTube, are going to stand out? How can I make them compelling and clear for my audience? From the poll, 70% of you guys, we got a lot of responses, and 70% of you guys preferred help building your your like pyramid thing, and that's awesome. So there's going to be videos coming out next week that are talking more about those things. Next week, yeah, probably. I'm filming 2 of them this week, and they'll probably come out the week after. I'm really excited. Because, yeah, it's just that one video, part 3 of the YouTube niche series. That's not enough to answer all of that. It's that's sort of like a reference video. but seeing it in action, seeing the practical side of it, that's what I want to show in future videos a little bit more examples, because figuring out how to be more thoughtful or creative, or aware of the storytelling communication of your channel, that takes, it's not just like a tips and tricks. It's really like a mindset shift that took me a long time to work on. So I think it makes sense that, you know, 1 or 2 videos isn't gonna just clear the air or make it suddenly all clear. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments, in the chat down below. But in the meantime, maybe I will test out, let's see, what's this comment? I've gained 6,000 subscribers in the past 3 months. It's mainly off of 2 videos. Since then, my videos haven't been as big, and it's disappointing. So what you seem to be saying, right, I mean, it seems like 2 videos really blew up if they gave you that many subscribers, but if the other videos aren't gaining, then here, I'll try checking out your channel. I'm not gonna normally do this. But I'm gonna check out your channel real quick. Anthony Resinello. Okay. Guys, I do not normally do this, but I'm gonna just glance to see if I can have a better idea of what's going on. Anthony Resinello, I'm going to glance at your channel. You said you gained 6,000 subscribers in the past 3 months, and it's mainly off of 2 videos. Since then, the videos have not been as big. It's been disappointing. So, I mean, this seems like it's something that really popped off in search, and maybe the other videos didn't align as much with it. I mean, you're getting pretty decent views on, sorry, there's like I'm like figuring out how I can show different things. Anthony, if you were to describe your channel, I'm getting a little confused looking at your channel, what it is. There's stuff about David Dobrik, there's stuff about Robert Downey Jr., there's stuff about movies, there's stuff about being a dating expert. How does this all tie together? And yeah, see if you can describe that in a channel for me. And I mean, the fact that I'm coming to your channel and I can see that it's about, you're tying pop culture, you're trying a lot of different things with your YouTube channel. The thumbnails, you're trying a lot of different things, which is awesome, and I highly recommend that. But there's very little cohesion, and it's not clear at a glance what your channel brings to me as a stranger. So that might help to clarify. I mean, in general, when you have videos like this, right, you have to evaluate if, so to catch everyone up, Anthony got 6,000 subscribers in the past 3 months, mainly off of 2 videos. And, you know, some of the videos have thousands of views and other ones have just a couple hundred. Again, just a couple hundred. Honestly, so subscribers, it's not a number that I like to focus on very much because it's not as meaningful in the algorithm right now, and it's not really a good measure of an engaged audience or fan base. A lot of us know that, you know, you could have one video blow up in search or because you're making videos on one specific topic, but if you're not delivering and providing that same value or that same entertainment, whatever, then they're not going to stick around. They're not going to engage. It's also good to ask, you know, is that the type of content that I like to watch? You know, I had videos when I was smaller that, you know, I did like a Taylor Swift I think I privated those videos, like Taylor Swift album reaction video a long time ago. And that got like 2,000 whatever views at the time, and I had no one on my channel. And that was awesome, but did I actually want to make that type of content in the future? No. So I had to decide, like, I'm not even going to pay attention to the amount of views that those videos have gotten. I think it's good for each of us to have a good awareness of what number is our real engaged audience, and just work off of that and keep building it slowly but surely, and also see how, on one hand, you want to maybe boil down some of the ingredients that got people excited in those thousands of views videos, and see what elements of that you can take and weave into your content more often. I'm gonna check on the comments again real quick. Rock and Tree. Hi Eric, really dig your series. I really need to build my pyramid, even though it's already obvious what my channel is about. I'd like to get into the details. I'd love to give you the details. Can you give me a little bit more of a description of what your channel is about currently, and then maybe we can, get more into some details as a group. I have a couple things prepared that might be some entertaining options for how to explore this topic. Let's see. I'm beginning to hate my channel I have built in 18 months from 0 to 42,000 subscribers and 5 million views. Well, that's not good, Like, and this is where, I mean, at the end of the day, I want you to be happy with your content. If you're not happy with it, then what is the point, right? It's supposed to be a good thing. It's supposed to be something that can last long term, that you can create for long term. In that sense, like, if you hate it, that's a really bad sign, and I would recommend making a bunch of compromises that, even though it might not grow, even though it might, lose subscribers, all that sort of stuff, at the end of the day, if you're not happy, then why not try like millions of other life options that can let you have more of that freedom and happiness you want? Can you tell me a little bit more about why you're not feeling happy with your channel? I'm really curious. That's a lot of views. Tripod's Garage, thank you very much. You should have a ton more views and subscribers. Thank you. I am having a lot of fun with my content, and there's lots of stuff around the corner, and I'm very content and satisfied right now, and I'm gonna be extra content and satisfied when stuff blows up in the future. My time will come. It's all good. Randomly on here because I like Eric's videos, but Anthony, why don't you put something in your channel art that says more about the fact that that is what you do? I agree that if the dating coach, if the dating coach thing is not working out, then, or if the dating, sorry, I'm getting distracted reading and responding. If the dating coach thing is not clear, or if that's what people came to those more viral videos, then you probably want to emphasize that angle or make it a little bit more clear. I saw in your thumbnails that you're trying to recreate a lot of other thumbnail styles, which is cool. But at the end of the day, you have to decide, okay, am I going to be doing video essays? Am I going to be doing stuff where I'm on camera? And if so, then I need to train my audience to be able to recognize what my videos look like. So for me, sometimes I do breakdown videos of big YouTubers. And, I have tried sometimes putting myself in the thumbnail, myself and the big YouTuber in the thumbnail, or just the big YouTuber in the thumbnail. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized that in the breakdown videos, I purposely put myself on camera because I want to have that more personal, direct conversation with you. I don't want to be a voiceover. And if so, then it probably makes sense for me to include myself in the thumbnail so that my audience isn't blindsided when they click into the video. I obviously want to highlight the bigger YouTuber if it's a breakdown video on MKBHD or Casey Neistat or something like that. But like for the content bug video, I purposely I wanted the thumbnail to look sort of like a content bug thumbnail, but I also wanted to include me in the thumbnail so that when they actually clicked the video, they weren't like, what? This isn't what I signed up for, you know, whatever. You have to create a promise in your thumbnail and try to follow through. So, and that's where you decide, you know, if you want to have like a more aesthetic thing that looks more like a poster or something, then when I click those videos, especially if it's about a celebrity or a movie or something like that, I would expect it to be focusing on that YouTuber or celebrity, or like be more of a video essay or commentary, or news informational. So that sort of stuff. Let's rewind in the comments. Sorry, I'm very behind, and I know that I'm extra behind because there's like a lag between this second right now and when you see it, and then the chat and all that stuff. So, Jeremy, I want to come back to your question because I think that there's a lot to unpack there. I don't think it's worth giving Jeremy a hard time because in reality, it's just like money. It's just like views. Yeah, yes, there's something to be grateful for when you get that success that other people would kill for. But at the end of the day, views and money are not what make you happy. And for me, I'm someone who really prioritizes being happy because you can't do anything long term if you're not happy. So, or without driving yourself into the ground. So, I think that that's a realistic thing. If you trap yourself building a channel that you don't like, and if you see it growing explosively, then it's easy to get trapped in that, and that's a hard position, genuinely. Jeremy, you are therapy for me. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Love what you do, people. Diego, yes. As a first-time visitor to your channel, are you talking about my channel? I would love that type of feedback, and I can see that if my channel would be a little bit confusing when you first stumble on it. I mean, I'm still building out my body of work. I mean, especially this YouTube niche series. This is going to be some pillar evergreen content for later that I'm going to be referencing back to for the next year or two, like a long time. So I needed to set some of that foundation. But I could see how my channel doesn't look very cohesive. Okay, let me just so I'm practicing the live stream thing where I don't get bogged down. Just, how about you guys? You guys leave me a comment. Should I go really in depth with the responses and break it down, or should I try to keep them quick so that I can engage more? Rock entry, informative rock climbing videos, and I share my climbing progress and story. That's cool. Okay, we can unpack that. Silver Fox, it's your channel. Make the content you enjoy or find another gig. Yeah. Hey, what's up? Greetings. Hey everyone. It's so good to see you guys. I'm so happy that we can have fun and connect. I hope that this time of day was a good time to connect with you. Let me know if you'd like me to do this on a more regular basis and at this time. I really love chatting with you guys and seeing what's going on so that I can even, not just, like I love meeting you guys. I actually look at your channels a lot. If you comment, I, sort of silently scope out what your channel is. I really love having sort of like a heartbeat, like sort of like a gauge of where my audience is at and what they're working on and figuring out behind the scenes. I love sort of like snooping on that so that I can make my content better for you guys. Hey Gina, 3 p.m. in Australia, perfect time. Awesome. I have so many really great friends in Australia from YouTube, like really great friends, and it's probably like 4 or 5. Someday I'm going to get out there, or I'm gonna run into you guys. It was great seeing actually Gina at Vid Summit last October. It was so fun, so crazy too. Like when we saw each other, it was like, yeah, of course, Gina, so awesome. Even though we never met in person, and that's like a common recurring thing for YouTube. Motivation theory, that's so awesome. Okay, everyone's having a dialogue in the the chat. I'm going to miss a lot of what you guys are saying. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna try my best. Okay. Thank you guys for being here, though. Hit that like button for the algorithm if you have a chance. It's sort of tricky or easy to forget during a live stream, but I love chatting with you guys and would love to do it more. And the algorithm thing, I don't know. I'm just rambling. During live streams, you're supposed to be chat. There's some cool breakdown resources that I prepared that we're going to get into in a little bit if it's the right fit. So hang tight if you want to see more practical tips on building your YouTube niche. Gina, I'm really curious where you're at in that process, because I've seen you've been trying a lot of different stuff, and I know we've talked about that before. Okay, I'm just gonna read comments and really try hard to not answer the questions quite yet. My channel is niche and evergreen. I like learning about that angle. My channel explored vintage marbles, identifications, and collections. Whoa, explores vintage marbles, identifications, and collections. Wow, that is very specific. Are you happy with it, Stefan? My bad. Is educational channel with videos on people, companies, society, and niche. I'm trying to get tech business-minded entrepreneurs to join. I think for that you need to be more specific. What's your angle? What's your story? What are you bringing to the table? When, from your icon, even just like, why is it a bird? Yeah. That's a good start. That would be, maybe some of these like bottom layers. But, tech or people, society, whatever, those are very broad categories. But you have to ask yourself, in my part 3, I talk about ask yourself about what, for whom, and how. So how are you educating people in that niche? How are you trying to get tech business-minded entrepreneurs to join? What are you talking about when you're linking those topics of people, companies, society? What are you doing with it? Are you trying to show how it's accessible to anyone? Are you trying to show the interesting, dark side of it? Are you trying to show what's exciting to you about it? Are you trying to show new tech that's coming out of it? There's a lot of different angles, and knowing that very clearly would be very helpful. I got distracted again. I'm so sorry. Robo Hobo Productions. As a live streamer, I would say give the comment more in depth depending on a variety of factors. If it needs it would be interesting and engaging if the comment earned it. Thank you. I really appreciate that feedback. That's really helpful. Yeah, everyone just Diane said, thanks for hosting the chat. This is a good time. It's actually fun to chat with everyone here as well. Yeah, everyone just chat away. I'll try to catch up and sort of bounce in and out of the conversation. Are you going to Playlist Live this year? Where in the world is that? I don't know where that is, but I loved Vid Summit, and I really liked VidCon too. So I'm interested this year in going to more places, as long as it's not like flying to Europe or something. Herrick started my channel more as a vlog to help motivate handicapped people. However, I think after posting my second video, people think I am a 3D printer channel. So again, if it's your second video, don't worry about what your audience thinks. Figure out what you like to watch. And Roberto Blake has that video, Make 100 Crappy Videos. It really takes about that many for you to start seeing clues of what you like. The first like 100 videos, the first 2 years on YouTube, whatever, it's really about throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what works. It really doesn't, like, take in what the audience is telling you as, 20% input. Like, okay, cool, I see that they like that. I'm not gonna get stuck on that though. Maybe that's not quite the right fit for me yet. I'm gonna try something else. I'm gonna keep that and then add something to it. That's why I have this like layer approach with the YouTube niche thing, because it's not like your channel is a one-word topic or 3 separate topics. Usually they build on each other, like thoughtfulness, self-awareness, communication, creators. Those are not separate topics. Those are it's communication topic. It's helping creators rethink their storytelling and communication on YouTube. And in terms of the vibe, it ends up being usually a breakdown. It ends up usually being very thoughtful, and it usually ends up mentioning self-awareness a lot. And that's that's a very simplified version of what this channel is about. Yeah, when you're early, you don't have enough ingredients or data points to build any layers at all. In fact, you probably should mute it. You shouldn't look at your analytics at all. You could have a 3D printing video blow up in search, get 10,000 views, and then suddenly you're like, oh, am I a 3D printing channel now? No, because again, you can if you're just trying to make money in the short term, but long term you need to have a plan, and you need to have that right fit for you. It's sort of like what Jeremy was saying, where he has videos on his channel that have done well, but he feels trapped by it. And I think that that's a very interesting problem. Jeremy said, I'm sad that I have to be a YouTube data scientist first and content creator last. That is, yeah, I am sad to hear that as well. I would give you the advice though, Jeremy, that's not necessarily what you have to stick with. And you sticking with it in a situation that you don't feel as inspired by or like, that's a choice. And there are options for you to find a channel that's a better fit for you. It'll just take some time, or maybe pulling back or making some compromises with that income that you're seeing right now. I'm gonna read more comments. Nicole, Eric, I like your videos because you give tips without yelling at us. A lot of YouTube creator help videos, the creator is yelling. I've noticed that a lot too. Not yours feel more like a conversation. Interesting. I really appreciate that. That's awesome. I feel like, as an introvert, I feel like I'm yelling sometimes, but no, I get what you mean. Motivation theory. I've made more than 450 crappy videos. You have made a lot of videos, man. I think that's really cool. I'm so tired of researching and not filming or uploading my first video. Yes, you especially at the beginning of YouTube, planning and researching for your YouTube channel, it's completely useless. Like, as soon as you start making that first video and you get that feedback or lack of feedback, all your plans will go out the window. I promise you. All the data, the most important data that you get when you start your YouTube channel is from you actually making videos, throwing it out there. It doesn't matter if they're not perfect. It doesn't matter if they have a niche. Just throw stuff at the wall so that you can start honing your voice. My awareness of what my voice was when I first started YouTube was totally off. I made a video talking about it. It's like called My Secret Struggle Communicating on YouTube or something like that. And it tells the story of how when I started, all the different lessons I had to learn about my communication that YouTube actually taught me over a span of 1.5 years. So YouTube helped me see more of my potential. It helped me work on some blind spots and insecurities I had. That's really, really important. When I first started, I thought of myself as introverted, an overthinker, and just a normal, boring guy. And I wasn't as charismatic or loud or flashy as any of the other YouTubers. So I thought, where would I have a place on this platform? But doing more YouTube videos helped me become a lot more charismatic and confident and see my potential. So, yeah, let's check more of the comments. I'm always kicking myself for not talking faster and delivering value faster. A few people commented that they like the more chill pace. Diane, I think that that's a really interesting thing, and it's a realization that I've been having with my channel as well. I'm someone who is really into being direct and to the point, and I notice when I drag just a little bit or when the pacing structure isn't perfect. But one thing I've been needing to recognize is that in order to succeed on this platform, I also have to be very comfortable with my natural voice. And my natural voice is not talking like, hey guys, you know, like all the time. It's more like this. And so the question comes that, okay, in a YouTube video, maybe I need to bring a little bit more of that relaxed energy that I have in real life, even though it's not as, you know, as the typical YouTuber. But I've looked at other YouTubers and I've seen how usually their strengths come from them communicating in a tone that is right for them. Like Nathaniel Drew, he's sort of like similar to Matt Diavella. He talks in this very like soft, relaxing tone, and it's slow. Like I usually watch his videos on double speed, but still, I appreciate that he's not performing as much. I mean, I'm sure he's still performing, but not as much. Miriam, so good to see you here. I am not used to the chat talking with themselves, so I am trying to find the comments that make sense for me to address, and then the other ones, you guys just have fun chatting. I think that's awesome. Thank you, someone, for the little PayPal tip. That's super awesome of you. I have always tried to just talk like I talk. After 5 years, I still hold that line. Be you. Yes. Diane, has live streaming helped grow my channel? Live streaming has not helped me grow my channel, but it's helped me grow my audience, and it's helped me grow some of my watch time. And I just like connecting with you guys in general. I think it's a really powerful tool that anyone, 10 years ago would have been shocked that this is possible. Connecting with people in Australia, Europe, Latin America right now, just having a dialogue, that is so awesome. Jen, how is my quality so good even live? I need a better camera. I have this special thing that plugs in to let me use my fancy camera on live, and it's one of the most fun, coolest investments that I've made. Super worth it, in my opinion, if you have some extra cash. And it works for video chats too, and conference calls. Question for everyone. I can never bring myself to use just one camera to produce videos faster. Seems that no matter how hard I try, video production is a multi-day process. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's how it is for me. It always takes me a couple days. Thank you guys all for being here. It's really awesome to chat with you guys. I think I'm going to pull up one of my experiments that I want to test out with you guys, and you can tell me if it's confusing, if it's entertaining, if it's not. I'm going to try it as long as my Robo Hobo Productions, thank you. Good to see you. Thank you a lot. Really appreciate it. I'm using a cam link to stream with my camera. It's super awesome. Cam link, I feel like on Amazon it said 4K, but I might just be imagining that. Okay, guys, so is Jeremy still here? Jeremy C. This might be, yes, Jeremy C is still here, and it's Elgato 4K, yes. Okay. Cool. Well, we're gonna try something real quick that I prepared, and you guys can tell me if it makes sense or it doesn't make sense. Jen, is it okay if I make you a moderator? There's certain things I can't fully pay attention to, and sometimes random comments get flagged as inappropriate even though they're not, and so if you could help me out with that, that'd be awesome. If not, I'm sorry, I just did that. And I can retract the mod rights. But I really appreciate. Does anyone else want to be a moderator? That would be super awesome if you guys are interested. Jen, what questions do you have, by the way? Okay, so I'm gonna try something new. I hope my computer doesn't kill me for doing all this stuff all at the same time. But we're gonna try it. One analogy that I cut out of part 3 for my YouTube channel talks about how, just the struggles trying to pick a YouTube niche that's the right fit for you. So I prepared this analogy, this visual analogy that I want to try out. I don't think that this is the right way to show you this, but I am going to try it anyway, and hopefully I can do it correctly. My apologies if there are some technical difficulties in the way. Okay, so how do I switch? Let me switch screens real quick. Okay, so here we go. Okay. All right, can you guys see that right now? I think you guys can. This is an analogy that I cut out of the beginning of part 3 because I thought it was funny, I thought it was awesome, but in the long scheme, it was not 100% necessary. I hope that this works. Is my camera on the thing? Let's see. Okay, I think it's working. Let me know. Do you see a beautiful blue ocean around me right now? Oh shoot, why is my email popping up? I really hope my email details didn't pop up. It's just spam email anyway, so but yeah, that might be a little bit of a problem. Okay. So this is an analogy that I wanted to illustrate for a YouTube channel, and it sort of talks about that push and pull you need to have with your YouTube niche. It needs to be something specific, but it also needs to be, oh shoot, I just saw that my emails popped up. I'm gonna need to do something about that after. There's really nothing valuable in my email though. Okay, sorry, a little distracted, a little scattered, because I've never tried this before. Okay, so this is YouTube, and this is this huge playground, and it's not just 2D, it's 3D. There's so much going on. There's so many different ecosystems and stuff that you can do on YouTube. There's so many different places to play. And this is you on YouTube, this little fish thing. And you are happy, let's turn off the show transform tools. You're happy swimming around. It feels really great to be free. You love exploring. You love expressing yourself. You love, doing all sorts of different things on YouTube. And your hopes and dreams are that people are going to come after you and follow you, basically. That you can be a leader of a school of fish. That's everyone's ultimate dream. The problem is that on YouTube, it's crowded. There's a lot of stuff going on. So this is everyone else, and it's actually more because it's 3D, right? So there's millions, bazillions of fish on here, and all you want to do is get people to follow you around and all that sort of stuff. But it's just completely unrealistic that you can swim around and do whatever the heck you want. It feels awesome for you as the fish, but it just realistically, are any of these fish gonna follow you? Probably not, maybe temporarily, but not the best way to get things done, right? So you're swimming around trying to get everyone's attention, and it just doesn't work. And you're also on here, you would be way smaller too. Everyone thinks that they are like this, but in reality, you're like this. You're tiny. That doesn't mean you're not valuable, but realistically, in the ocean of what's going on, it makes sense that not everyone is seeing you. So yeah, not fun to hear, but you know, realistic. So what you have to do now, so we're gonna take off all the fish because it's distracting. I'm plankton, not even fish yet. My content is the solid waste that floats to the bottom. So become a shark and eat them all. No. Yeah, anyways. So, let me pull up my notes so I don't forget any fun parts of this analogy. Okay, so yeah, you're wandering around wondering why people are not following you. But, you know, when you look at it more in the big scheme of things, it makes a lot of sense. I want to be a seahorse, yes. Anyways, so the more that you explore on YouTube, they talk about this thing that's called, you know, giving value, right? And to represent that, we're gonna have these little like dots basically on the screen, these yellow dots, and you realize that these are like the universal truths of the world, and you know, or cool perspectives that you have, cool things that you can give access to. Wow, Jen, you are killing it with the moderating. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Anyway, so in the ocean, we're just gonna call it the ocean, but it's life basically. There's all these different ways that you can provide value, and it's just sort of there, and we can offer it. It's life advice, it's our perspectives, all that sort of stuff. And it's floating around there, and we want to share this with our audience, right? And we found out that the way to get people to fall in love with you and follow you is to have them run into value or entertainment or whatever and associate that with you, because then they go, oh, whenever I hang out with you, the blue fish, I experience value. I run into them. That's super awesome. So you find out that that's the goal. And let's see. Am I missing anything? No, I'm not missing anything. So this is where you need to build some boundaries to start trying to get people to like run into that value and associate it with you. So this is an example of a boundary, right? And the idea, where's an example of your audience? Okay, this rainbow fish. This rainbow fish is gonna be your audience, right? The goal is for your audience to like be swimming around and randomly get inside your boundary and bounce around in your little area, bounce around on your channel, and be running into this value along the way, finding it by accident. And when the goal is for them then to say, oh, it's so awesome to, like, whenever I hang out with this blue fish, I run into this boundary and I just get all this value. Isn't that so awesome? So that's the goal here, right? So here's the problem, though. That's cool in terms of an aspiration of what we should be doing, but practically it's very hard and it takes time. So for instance, in the beginning when you're growing your YouTube channel, it takes time to find ingredients for your boundary, right? So in the beginning your boundary doesn't look like that. It looks like this. And you're just working through building these skills that you have. You know, you're swimming around in this in the green stuff, finding material for these boundaries, like frantically, oh, should I get this camera? Oh, should I, like, how do I figure out how to talk on camera? Whatever. You're trying to grow your boundary that's gonna get people to engage and find this value. So you're scrambling around the whole ocean trying to find materials to build your boundary. Can I get a like for this illustration? I'm having fun. I hope you guys are having fun too. Anyways, so, but a lot of times when we get these materials, right, there's no circle yet. It's not a complete boundary. So this fish is just like goes through, and like maybe they do catch value, but they're not going to associate it with you because they just like pass through. You're going to be like, but I figured out how to talk on camera. I figured out how to have a nice camera. I figured out how to have a nice thumbnail. That's great. That's a little bit of your boundary. But it's not keeping them anywhere, and they're not associating any of that value with you. So what you need to do is be really patient. Take the time to slowly but surely, find more pieces for your boundaries, so that the chances are higher for this fish to run into your content, run into your zone, bounce around, and suddenly go, whoa! Every single time I hang out with that blue fish or follow that blue fish, I start running into this value that's they're pointing me in the right direction all the time. But it takes a while for you to get enough ingredients to get them to stay in your zone. Like, and when I say it takes a while, it takes a while. Like, it takes years. It could take months. It takes talking to the right people. It takes asking yourself the right questions. It takes recognizing that, you're not there yet, right here. A lot of people go, oh, I'm making great thumbnails. I had a viral video. Why aren't people still watching me? Well, it's because, yeah, that's awesome. You have a little bit. You have a little success. That's awesome. But it's still not enough to get it where you're even close to those big YouTubers, where you're like all these people with their cool little ecosystems and their loyal fans and subscribers. Like, you are not at that level yet, and it's appropriate for you to recognize that. Are you our bluefish? Yeah, I know. That's funny. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I felt like this would be a relaxing illustration analogy. So here's the other blind spot is, you as a fish need room to swim around as well. But what some of us do is we go, okay, we know how to make this much material for our boundary. You know what we're going to do? We're going to make our thing super small. We're going to make it, honestly, like some of you guys have talked to me about the niches that you've created for yourself. And it's honestly like, it's like I make videos about this specific gaming chair and that's it. Like your boundary that you made for yourself is tiny. What happens when you do that is, yes, the fish is going to come in and interact with all that value that you've concentrated them on, right? There's no way that they're going to go into your boundary and not run into value. So they're going to like that. But the problem is that you as the fish don't have any room to swim around. So what happens is you end up basically strangling yourself, and now you're not the blue fish, you're this dead fish in the circle. And people, like, you can try putting great skin on it, you can try like working the camera a little bit, entertaining people, whatever, but after a while, if people can sense that you don't like what you're doing, and after a while you end up turning into this dead fish that's strangled in there, trapped in this little boundary. And it starts to smell. It starts to stink. Like, no one wants to... Yeah, people will run into your bubble and get that value, but they don't want to hang out with this, like a dead, smelly fish. So, it doesn't work. It doesn't work for you to do that. Others of you have it where it's not a small boundary, it's a super large boundary, right? So this is, again, where you have... something like, oh, I want to do personal development videos. Okay. Cool. I want to do personal value. I want to help people be more creative. I want to help encourage people. I want to help inspire people. Okay, that's great. You're not a makeup channel. You've made that, like, you've removed those as a possibility. But your bubble is so broad that the fish are just going to fly right through, and even if they get value, they're not going to associate it with you. the stuff that you're talking about could be the most profound life advice ever, but they're not going to associate it necessarily with you because so this happened literally with my own channel, where I was talking about thoughtful stuff about self-awareness, but one week it was about fear of rejection, one week it was about loss of a loved one week it was talking about listening to your feelings, one week it was talking about getting out there and doing it. I would say that the videos were good and compelling and valuable and entertaining, but every time that this fish came to my channel before, they didn't know what to expect. They didn't know whether they were going to get a video about breakups or growing old or fear of rejection or what. They had no idea. And so either they were confused and didn't associate that value with me, or they were like, I have no idea. I can hang out in this boundary, but I don't know when I'm going to run into those yellow dots. It's not consistent enough. It's not regular enough for me to know. I'm gonna pause, read some comments. Seems like some people were horrified by the fish dying. I'm horrified by it too. And it's sad when it happens in real life. Eric, there's a question. How many views is a viral video for a YouTuber under 5K subs? That it's all relative, right? So, but it's usually, my definition of viral would be when YouTube starts pushing your video to an audience that normally your channel doesn't have. So let's say your channel normally gets 300 views on every single video, normally gets 50 views on every single video, normally gets 1,000 views on every single video. Well, what happens when it's viral is when the algorithm starts pushing it, and so you'll start seeing this uptick in views that you aren't working for, that's not associated with something you're doing. The algorithm is pushing that video to a lot of people, and sometimes that can be 10,000 views, sometimes that can be 200,000 views. I've had friends who've had all sorts of crazy stuff go on with that. And yeah, so that's that would be my definition. Anyways, so the push and pull of being a YouTube creator, this is a long story, mostly for entertainment purposes, but it's basically, you need to be patient to find these boundaries slowly but surely to increase the chances that they're going to bounce around, interact with that value, and associate that value with you. And it needs to be the right size where you still have freedom as the fish to float around, but where you're not trapping yourself in a super small bubble and strangling yourself, turning yourself into a little dead fish. So, and also it's good to note that the boundary will never be airtight, right? Like, you're not trying to trap your viewers on your channel. Like, some people think, oh, once they love me, they're gonna just stick with me forever. No, that's not how it works. They are going to maybe think fondly of their times hanging out in your bubble. Maybe they'll go out and bring their friends. Regardless, it's not realistic to expect people to be trapped in your bubble. It's realistic for people to come in, see that you're doing something really special, and whenever they hang out with you, they get a lot of value or entertainment or insight, and they associate that with you. And that's basically the best that you can ask for. And after a while, they'll start coming and bringing your friends, and then YouTube will bring you some more friends and all this stuff, to the point where, hypothetically, someday, you become such a big YouTuber that people don't even care about the value that they're running into. They just want to hang out with you. You suddenly become the value. And that's where you get these situations like this, where you can swim around and do whatever the heck you want. You can change your channel, you can post. Even the big YouTubers, though, have found a brand or found something that works for them. So they can't be completely random, but this is where you get these things where you've got people following you, where you're able to experiment a little bit, where you're able to try a lot of crazy new things because of the opportunities that came from your time building up that foundation, getting people to trust you, listening to what needs you have as a fish, right? And creating that being aware of what size boundary you like, and slowly but surely you build an audience of people that engage with you or relate to you or trust you or respect you, admire you, all that sort of stuff. If it's not flagged by YouTube, I'm fine with it. I don't really care. But if so, that, I mean, if not, like, yeah, then we can make this a cleaner chat. Viewers come and go all the time. Yes, Diane. Nicole, I don't think I've checked out your channel yet. Nicole, I would love to do that a little bit after. Jen, I wanted to tell you I've had several friends who do DIY. They got huge because they do Dollar Tree DIY and then get trapped because the Dollar Tree audience won't watch anything else, which is fine if you only want to do Dollar Tree DIY, but definitely do something to think about as you start. Yeah, and so that brings an interesting question, though, which is like, yes, in terms of an algorithm, in terms of an engaged audience, all that sort of stuff, it's really hard to not get trapped with certain things that work. Challenge videos, trends, all that sort of stuff. Oh, subscribe. Yeah, avoid that word. That word for sure is going to get flagged. Thanks, Jen. Yeah, sorry about the misunderstanding. Jen, I really appreciate what you're doing. Thank you so much. The way that you work around those challenges, right? Not getting trapped. It's where if you know the size of your boundary, so what boundary you built for yourself, basically, right? So what a lot of creators do is they accidentally have a boundary. Like they only swim in this section of the ocean, but they didn't realize that they have a boundary. If you know what ingredients you're bringing to the table to engage that audience, so maybe it's true that whenever you do a Dollar Tree video, it pops, especially in the algorithm. The audience loves it, right? But you need to figure out why they're engaging with your specific Dollar Tree videos. What are you bringing to the table? Because what specifically are you bringing to the table? How are you communicating? How are you making it entertaining? Do you visit multiple stores? Do you visit one store? Do you bring your friends? Is it like short and sweet and to the point, just data? Or is it like you're showing your experience, sort of like, messing with it, exploring things? There's a lot of different things that you bring to the table. And then suddenly you can start noticing, oh, okay, the thing that makes me stand out in this Dollar Tree trend, niche, whatever, is that I do it in this way where I get straight to the point and I combine things in this way and I am vulnerable in these ways, I communicate in these ways. What if I make other videos that are related and talk about DIY, but I really emphasize those same ingredients? That is how you can increase the chances of your audience switching over, even if you have those super niche videos. If you can figure out what those layers underneath it are, then you will be fine. Oftentimes. Let me see. Let's switch this to this. So, like when you have your YouTube channel, or you have a viral video, whatever, a lot of times the best way to pivot is to figure out what your bottom layers are, because you can swap off the super niche top layer. Let's say it was, I'm gonna just make up random stuff, but figure out what your bottom layers are. Okay, I always communicate in this way. I talk to the camera in this way. I'm very relatable. I show my family, that type of stuff. Okay, and I always present the information where I go to 3 different stores and then we compare what I did better in one store versus the other store. And then I do an analysis of different options of what I could do in future stores, all that, like whatever. Like figure out what your communication style is. And then the top of the pyramid would be that Dollar Tree element, right? That's very niche, very, very specific. People are going to stumble upon you and search because of that. You can't always be making those videos, though, as people said in the comments. So what you do is you get really aware of like 10 layers deep what you're bringing to the table, and then you start swapping out that top layer. Okay, this week I'm not going to do a video on Dollar Tree stuff, but I'm going to do something else, but it's still going to have all those bottom layers. So then what happens is your audience can see your next video and see how it relates, see how it connects. They're going to go, oh, she's not at the Dollar Tree this time, but I still like it. There's something interesting about this person's videos. Swap out the top layer. Know your bottom layers, so you can swap out your top layer, and then you can see more op. If you guys have any questions, let me know and I can answer them. Thank you guys for everything. It's super awesome dialoguing with you guys here. I hope you guys enjoyed the fish thing. Honestly, I'm just an awkward potato, and the way that I do my DIYs are not perfect at all. I take my DIYs in one shot. I'm hoping that type of personality keeps it exciting. That's great. And it's good for you to know that type of stuff. And this is where I always encourage people to go deeper, right? So I'm just an awkward potato, right? Like that is one specific type of like awkwardness or quirkiness or like just like being, again, like awkward how, right? Awkward about what? Awkward for whom? Add those clarifying questions after each of these ingredients that you bring to the table, and you'll start having a better awareness of, okay, I'm not just awkward in general, I'm awkward about communication, or I make jokes that not everyone gets, or I'm sort of quiet and shy when, society favors people that are loud and charismatic. Silver Fox, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Good to see you here. Thank you. I hope maybe next time. But yeah, Jen, think a little bit, break down each of those ingredients, and I think you can start finding more of those like secret ingredients that, and when you boil them down, filter it down to just the core of what that secret ingredient is. That's super, super valuable. And that's where, when you have that awareness of the little tiny pieces, you can harness that into a combination that people aren't expecting. When you have that self-awareness of, okay, I'm awkward in these specific ways, I'm someone who likes to just do it and see what happens, I don't plan it out very well, like, okay, how am I spontaneous? How am I disorganized? Break that down, and you're going to start seeing different things that you bring to the table that you didn't notice before. Walt, hey Eric, I watched your video on the content bug and loved your assessment. She's on fire, and I appreciate learning from her, and I feel the same genuineness from you. I smashed the like button. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That was a really fun video to put together, and she's very, I admire her so much as a voice in this space and a leader in this space. Jen, someone asked, so how important is it to drive traffic via feeder sites such as social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, website, and the like? I worry about drowning in the social media cycle. Question from Andy Hallbeck. Hey, Andy. Good to see you here. So in the beginning, I used to just drive a lot of traffic to my channel from all different places. And this is one of those things where, the algorithm is trying to serve your videos to a very specific audience. And it's really working really hard for you behind the scenes trying to find that match for you. I've heard a lot of different sides of it. In the beginning, when I made those very broad personal development videos, it was fun to get my family and friends involved, seeing that, especially friends from college, friends, friends of my parents even. And that drove a lot of traffic. But the more that I niched down, the more that I realized that my videos are really for creators. And I also want YouTube to be able to notice that my videos are for YouTubers, especially smaller YouTubers. And so I want to give YouTube more clues that that's what my channel is about. And so I actually stopped promoting my videos on Facebook and Instagram as much because I saw that Facebook was definitely my family friends and like my parents' friends, that sort of crowd, and I knew that they weren't going to connect with that YouTube creator content, so I didn't want to confuse the algorithm from that. The Instagram crowd, it's a mix of my college friends and it's a mix of YouTube creator friends. So right now I still gently advertise that I uploaded a new video, but I don't like promote very heavily to that audience because realistically, my college friends, that's not what they're looking to see or engage with. Where I do promote the videos or show my more YouTube side of my personality, it happens a lot more on Twitter, where I know that my audience is, like, the people that follow me on Twitter are 99% YouTubers. And so in that sense, that helps to drive some traffic. But again, like, I think the more you have a grasp of who your target audience is, you naturally start talking to more of those people because you start asking them about their needs and their wants. And you're like, oh, I could fix that problem for you. Oh, I can help you with that specific thing. And so you end up hanging out with those people. You start figuring out where they hang out. And it's much more important to find a way to alert them, or it's sort of like a line where you want to make it where if you shake that line, it'll also do a ripple effect and shake them. So try to more find those connections or networks, or like real connections or networks that are more in line with what your channel is actually about, and you'll start to attract the crowd that you want. That's a lot of what's happened with my YouTube channel now is, it brings a more like introverted crowd. It brings people who are interested in language and English and communication, or they're creative or wonder about things a lot. Like, it's these people that I connect with because that's sort of how I am. And I've sort of invested in those friendships and those relationships so that I can hang out in the same places of them, interact and run into more of them. So I would recommend, instead of just looking at it as like spraying everywhere, and maybe even confusing the algorithm, be more intentional about where you're putting your content. And in order to do that, you have to know what value you're providing to them, and then it'll be easier for you to give that value and know whether you're finding the right match. I really liken it to in a personal conversation, right? When you go to a stranger, you sort of change yourself a little bit to match who they are and their communication style, or what their needs are, and you're sort of sensing it when you're talking to them. You can tell if they're more introverted, if they're more extroverted, if they had a good day, if they had a bad day, and you talk differently depending on who you're talking to. So in the same way, you need to have a good grasp of how you're communicating and what their needs are, so that you can tweak how you spray your content to them in a more thoughtful way. It takes a little bit of know-how, or it takes a little bit of time though to get that self-awareness, and or like go, oh, whenever I say this, they really respond to that. That's super awesome. Joanne, that's how I found you on Twitter. Oh, that's awesome. That's super awesome. I didn't know that. That's cool. Walt, we are twins who do food and product reviews. I love that you are addressing specifically to the niches. Your channel will definitely be one we study. Thank you, Eric. Really appreciate that. That's awesome. Is it good to use all 500 characters for keywords, or does that confuse the algorithm? You can use whatever keywords you want. Just make sure that they're relevant. Don't like put random stuff like, oh, Justin Bieber yummy music video. Like if that has nothing to do with your channel, like that will confuse the algorithm. The thing that matters the most in terms of YouTube identifying you, though, it's the title and it's the first couple lines of your description. If you put some juicy keywords, especially in the title, that'll help. And even in the thumbnail, if you put certain elements, YouTube has like a AI that can scan your thumbnail and sometimes even the content to see what it's about. So if you can, the more clues you can give to the algorithm of like what you're about, the more easy it'll be for the algorithm to surface your content to the right people. And this is something I'm working on as well. I know that I don't want to be a how to grow on YouTube channel. So that's where I'm like holding firm on that communication angle, that thoughtful angle, that breakdown angle, and certain other things. And sort of tweaking one of my top layers to be a little bit more how to grow on YouTube for temporarily. But long term, that's not what I want. And so I'm trying to give YouTube more clues of like, look, the community's really engaged. They tend to be smaller YouTubers. They tend to be people that are curious in these ways. I'm going to make my YouTube videos like on the longer side because that matches more my communication style. I'm going to keep them on the longer side and just pack them with information. And so slowly but surely, the algorithm is going to recognize, okay, these are the types of videos he makes. This is the audience that likes them. This is when he posts them. This is what people can expect when they see it. And then slowly the algorithm will work for you and surface your content to the people it needs. A lot of people think that the algorithm is against you, but it's really working behind the scenes all the time to try to find that right match for you. It's your job as the creator to give the algorithm clues, though, so it's not bringing your videos to random people. I mean, if you looked at the suggested videos in my analytics, so you can see titles of videos that YouTube is placing my video next to. It used to be the randomest things. It was like wildfire camping trip summer, like 2018, and it was like, what? Why is this video getting put next to that video? So clearly the algorithm had no clue what my channel was about. But slowly over time, it's starting to, learn or get some more clues of what the content's about and what it looks like. I hope that was helpful. That was a long answer. Thank you so much. I totally agree. Twitter, such an amazing and supportive community there. Thank you for the deep dive. Yes, I did not use Twitter for the longest, I didn't understand it at all. I thought you had to be clever and witty, but there's a lot of similarities to it in YouTube, actually. It's a really cool tool to access the community that you want and be able to be in touch with them and share your thoughts that you think are relevant to them, and be yourself as well. It's a really cool tool, and I've met or been able to connect with a lot of creators there. I would highly recommend it for people who don't have a Twitter to try having a Twitter. Instagram is turning into sort of like a email, just like Facebook sort of turned into an email. But Twitter it's really fun to just chat with people, and it's very bizarre when you first start. You're like, I'm replying to this person's comment, but then it's public, and then it gets sent out as like its own thing. Like, my reply is not content. Why is it getting put like that, but after a while you get used to it, and you really start bumping in. I mean, again, I started with Twitter late, so I got to sort of curate who I followed to be just the YouTube community, basically. And so it's really cool to have that like heartbeat pulse check on what's going on and what your guys' needs are, and usually even seeing your guys' responses or follow-up questions, it's like the community tab on YouTube. You get to see where people's heads are at so that you can make the content better for them. Thank you guys for all your time hanging out here. If you guys have any last minute questions, let me know. I would happily love to break them down. I think I'll hang out here for another like 5 or so more minutes. But I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome and ask really good questions. And if there's any final questions that you have about your YouTube channel and the specific problems that you have, would love to help you with any of these blind spots. There's a lot that when I was starting out on YouTube, when I had my first year on YouTube, I didn't get why I needed to have a niche. I didn't get why people wouldn't just love me for me. I didn't get how the algorithm worked. I didn't get how to storytell and get people excited chattering about your content. I didn't get any of that stuff. And so after a couple years and talking to other creators that are ahead of me, experts, all this sort of stuff, I've gotten quite a few insights. And I also like writing and storytelling and communicating and breaking things down. So I would love to clarify anything you've got. Jen, you are totally crushing it with the moderating. That was a very impulsive decision, but you are killing it. Thank you so much, Jen. Working on my thumbnails, Tripod Garage. That is the #1 thing I got after I went to Vid Summit 2019. If you hear how serious the top giant YouTubers are about their thumbnails, you will feel so bad about your thumbnails. Like, you'll be like, oh, I only spent 1 hour on my thumbnails. I need to step it up. These guys will create multiple options. They'll go around to random strangers, flash their thumbnail for a second and see like, hey, in that 1 second, like, which thumbnail did you like better? They'll try all these different crazy things. They'll memorize all sorts of different titles and sequences that, you know, are more compelling. They'll learn how to do copywriting. They'll learn, oh, okay, it works better if I have this color in my thumbnail. It works better if I have my face bigger in the thumbnail. They'll try all sorts of different things, and there's a reason why these guys are on the top, and it's not accidental. There's a lot of hidden thought behind thumbnails, and it's true. If you put in all this work into your content, your video, but your thumbnail, your packaging, your title is bad, then the viewers aren't going to open the book. And that's really, really bad. So there's always more you can do with your thumbnails. There's always new things that you can improve. So always try to step it up. I always try to learn Photoshop a little bit better. I always try to, oh, wow, that thumbnail really caught my attention. What are they doing? Thinking about those things will genuinely make a really big difference with your videos, because, again, all YouTube wants you to do is click and watch for a while. So you need to be able to get that click. In general, some principles that I've noticed work very well are to keep things very simple, keep things understandable at a glance, try to make the title and the thumbnail connect. So like in this thumbnail today, like I said, like building your YouTube niche, and I used bricks, and I was actually holding this box, and then I had to like Photoshop on like a brick thing. That like illustrated the point of building your YouTube niche. On my rethinking how to stand out as a small YouTuber, I created the YouTube thing and like was literally popping out of the screen, standing out on YouTube. Try to make your thumbnails visual and very easy to understand. Get rid of anything that's distracting, right? Like even in the thumbnail for this live stream, I purposely took this chair and just put it all the way in the background because it doesn't seem that distracting to just have this little outline behind me, but it is. It's one extra thing that doesn't need to be there. So clean up your back. I took down this poster. Clean out everything you've got to simplify them as much as possible. Don't put as much text in your thumbnails because people don't want to be reading. Again, like I used to make these thumbnails that looked aesthetically great, but you have to remember what people's viewer behavior is on YouTube. When people are on YouTube, they are scrolling incredibly fast. They're going like this. And it's small, and even on your subscription feed, it's hopefully it'll load. I mean, I'm probably stealing all the internet right now. But yeah, people don't like pause for a couple seconds on every single thumbnail. They scroll quickly, and so you need to make your thumbnails as attention grabbing and understandable and visual storytelling-y as possible. And this is like a craft that's almost impossible to master. Like, it frustrates me even when the big YouTubers just stick with one type of thumbnail. I think that there's always things that we can learn to make our thumbnails better and better and better. Click-through rate, CTR, 100% key, yes. I used to put my face in my thumbnails, then one of the advice gurus said he found that wasn't always necessary. I took my face out and I swear my views have gone up. Again, that's all. You have to think of the psychology of the audience, right? You have to think, okay, do they expect this topic necessarily from someone who looks like me? Am I a part of the video? Like, are they seeing me in the thumbnail and then my whole video is like a video essay, it's voiceover? That might be a subverted expectation. You need to make the promise that you set up in the thumbnail be consistent with the video if you want an engaged audience. So try to make those things align. For some people it means putting your face in more. For some people it means making it smaller. For some other people it means taking it out completely. For me, I am consciously choosing to put my face in the thumbnails because I know that the brand that I want to build in the future, I want it to be connected to me talking in front of the camera. And so, yeah, that might slow down certain growth or certain clicks, but long term, it's a decision that makes a lot of sense for long term. I only watched 3 big ones plus Eric. That's funny. I'm gonna read through the comments real quick. Titles on the thumbnail or not? There seems to be some debate about which option is best. What are your thoughts? I think I discussed that. In general, a lot of the people said take the text out because it sort of clutters it, and often there's a way where you can express that same thing without text. And again, it might take some work from you. Like today, it took a while to like Photoshop a little brick onto this box, but it helped visual storytell a little bit. And yeah, usually I've found that taking out the text helps you think more creative in thinking of visual options to demonstrate that same point, and that's something I think is cool. We have pulled way back on putting text. It's primarily to show what we are reviewing, and the audience is looking for the pics. I spend a lot of time trying to get better with my thumbnails. Yes, yes, yes to all that stuff. It's really impossible to master, honestly. Like it's a long thing. There's always different options of how we can get it better, but we should be focusing on that type of stuff just as much as the content itself. I think I'm going to wrap this up. It's awesome seeing you guys all here. Thank you guys for hanging out. I really appreciated it. You guys are awesome. There's a lot more content coming down the pipeline for you. Working hard behind the scenes, and I have like this long list of videos that are like coming up, and I actively, aggressively get rid of any of them if I don't think that they're going to be super helpful or entertaining for you. So there's some ideas that are coming down the pipeline that are awesome. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. If I had one request, it would be if you know a creator or a creator friend that would be helped by seeing any of my videos, it would mean a lot if you could connect my videos with them. I know that there's stuff in these videos that can unlock a lot of people's channels, or help people feel more free and happy with their content. And so yeah, like I can do my job promoting and distributing and creating content, but you guys know your friends. You guys know what people's needs are more than me. So yeah, connect me with them, and that would mean a whole lot. Thank you guys for everything. You guys are amazing. You are the change maker of your own life. I'll see you guys in another video very soon. Thank you guys for everyone. If you have any questions or quick questions, comments, all that sort of stuff, you can message me. Probably on Instagram is the best place, at EricWhenVlogs. You guys are awesome. Catch you guys soon. Peace, peace. Bye.